Okay then guys, back inside of Helldivers 2, where we've got so much information going on inside of this game. It's absolutely crazy, including the roadmap, which is due to change as it's extremely outdated. Big talks on DLSS, and we've also got a load of talk about the actual people inside of the Discord server, which is absolutely huge now, I may add. So without any further ado, we're going to dive on into what we've got going on today. So if you haven't already, smash that beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. On top of that, check out our sponsor, Advanced GG, the #1 clinically proven energy supplement on the market. My favorite flavor is cherry vanilla, but you guys can catch an array of flavors via the link in the description. Make sure you use code CLOUD at checkout. And with that being said, let's dive on into the news at hand. Well, this is an interesting day indeed, as we've got so much to talk about that we have got inside of Helldivers 2 right now. At the moment, the Helldivers 2 roadmap is very outdated in comparison to what it is that they want to do now, according to the Arrowhead's CEO, as the game's stratospheric launch brings new ideas and ambition to the studio, which is absolutely incredible to hear. Now, Johan actually has been posting frequently on Twitter about various subjects relating to Helldivers 2, and the last night he took stock of the game's launch week, stating how he was completely exhausted by the stress and success of Helldivers overall, adding, "So is the team. Nonetheless, he is very pleased with how the launch obviously has gone, because it's gone extremely well." Now, the original roadmap, though, is likely to obviously change, as some of the roadmap adjustment is likely due to the developers' frantic scramble to keep the game running following its outsized launch. In its issue, Johan addresses in the same thread, running down exactly what the studio's been through to get the game to where it needs to be. Many late nights on calls, emergency meetings, discussions around the server capacity, shards, capacity units, CPU utilization, login rates, and CCU. But the best result should be a much more stable experience this weekend. And so far, so good. I'm experiencing nothing but good things, and it's really interesting to see. But now, standing on the threshold of the weekend, with fingers crossed, starting intentionally on the CCU Graph and the icons for various subsystems glowing with a vibrant green OK. Last weekend, a lot of them were in a bright red not OK. So when we start looking at how this is actually going to pan out, it's going to be really interesting to see where this one can go. For now, though, Johan's main hope is for a fun weekend for players, and is a quiet one for him and his team. And to be completely honest, I really hope that he's had the same thing. We're getting into Sunday right now, and hopefully they've had a really good one. He states, so while he dreads this weekend from a technical perspective, the team has done a fantastic job on ironing out the kinks, and I hope you all will be able to have a great time playing the game. And that is 100% seeming to be the case. As far as where the roadmap's actually going to lead to is going to be an interesting factor, mainly because they're now not focusing on the original aspects that they were focusing on at the beginning, because obviously the launch has just gone through the roof, which is absolutely amazing to see for a game that really does deserve it. But one thing that they have been talking about right now is DLSS. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what that means, that is Deep Learning Super Sampling. It's a new image rendering technology developed by NVIDIA, which uses a deep learning to produce an image that looks like a high resolution version of the original lower resolution version. So for PC, this is looking to be a really good sampling thing, and something that really should be coming down the line, although isn't really necessary right now. But Johan actually responded to that one today, and he actually turned around and said that so hard to not take bait. Okay, I'll bite. DLSS, cool tech, but not necessary. If I have code time over, I prefer to put that into good use, focusing on the core gameplay, as it's what is most important for the game to be successful. This way of thinking seems to have paid off, and I could not agree more. It seems to have worked very well for them, and actually the game looks incredible as it stands anyway. They don't really have to go overboard with how it is that they start running that, and DLSS isn't essential right now, but is something that we'd like to see later down the line, maybe once they've got a lot more stability within the server capacity, expertise, and they've managed to figure out what it is that the roadmap's actually going to look like with regards to how the game's actually going to function later down the line. DLSS is something that we should probably be seeing later in the year, depending on how long this game actually lasts out. But it does seem to look like the player base is making sure that this game is going to last out tenfold, as the Discord server itself has now actually got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people in it, and it's actually so damn good in there. I've actually had quite a lot of fun talking to you guys, and it's been really interesting to see like your input towards the game and what it is that you think about it. And even though it's having such a difficult time at the moment, and it is coming out of it, but you guys have been so positive with that regard, and it's really nice to see a community coming together to support a game rather than raining hellfire on a game because it hasn't managed to keep the servers up for the way that you want it to be, which is really nice to see, and actually a breath of fresh air compared to what we've actually witnessed inside of the gaming community maybe over the last 5 years or so. Now, they have actually been so damn good that Catherine Baskin, who is a member of the Arrowhead team, who is over on Discord and obviously responds to as many people as she can, has actually been locked out of her account for helping with too many support tickets, which is hilarious, as Johan actually posted up a tweet which quoted a tweet from Catherine stating, "If you don't see any updates from us here, it's because our lovely Baskinator got locked out of her account because of helping too many players with support tickets." Also, total silence from Discord support, which is a different strategy to what we use at Arrowhead, which is hilarious. I think that that is a really, really good tweet, and fair play to them. They've actually been really communicative. If you go into the Discord, the likelihood is that you can speak to somebody pretty damn quickly. You are really interactive with their posts. They're really sort of like on the ball with what it is that players want to experience and how they want to see the game, and some feedback features and stuff like that. And the communication between company and player is absolutely incredible, which in 2024 isn't something we get from many companies nowadays, especially with the gaming industry going the way that it is. We seem to get a lot more kickback from companies kind of claiming that this is their game, they'll do it the way that they want to, which is absolutely fine, and I fully understand that. But you need to understand, in a modern day, in a modern society, the way the gaming industry is that the players genuinely have such a big voice, and the main reason for that is because if they don't want to play your game because it doesn't play right, or it doesn't look right, or it isn't working right, then they just won't play it. And the realistic factor is it may well be your game, but for as long as we're playing it, we kind of have a level of control, which seems a little bit controlling, I'm aware, and it seems extremely egotistical. But when you put it down to the main factor of it, if nobody picked up this game and there was no players on Steam, they weren't being able to break the server capacities, this wouldn't have done so well. If people weren't willing to play it and they weren't willing to put their time into it, then realistically the game won't succeed. So the fact that Arrowhead Studios are genuinely bringing in the way that you guys want to see the game play out, and how it is that they're kind of approaching everything, and their communication levels are just on form, especially with companies like Rocksteady actually pumping out things like Suicide Squad, which has been the complete polar opposite effect when it comes to a company with consumer. They kind of don't really give a toss, and anything that we're kind of saying isn't really going through the process, and if it is, then it's just taking way too long. Whereas when you have companies like Arrowhead who are pumping out these updates and fixing and rectifying the things that it is that aren't really working the same way, it's really, really nice to see. So massive kudos to Arrowhead, and a massive shout out to Johan for pumping out the amount of tweets and the amount of communicative tickets and stuff like that that these guys are doing. That's unfortunately all we've got time for today, though, guys. If you have got this far in the video, then make sure you leave a salute emoji down in the comment section below and say salute in to all of your Helldiver co-op friends in there, and we can start getting some conversations going about what you guys think we're going to see in the future from this game. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe, post notifications turned on. Appreciate your faces. Thanks again for watching, and as always, up until the next time, I'll see you in the clouds.